You were tuned in to episode 3 of the Goodfellas podcast. Your host G5 Jeff TV. I got the gang with me. VP Shane, what's going on, player?
Everything's good.
And I got the general here, Boxing First Vlog, aka Blunt Bayless. What's going on, bro?
Oh man, another day in heaven.
Absolutely. So we got the announcement. Manny Pacquiao has officially retired, quote unquote, officially retired. Shane, when you heard the news, what was your initial thoughts?
I feel like he was never gonna fight at elite level. I thought that I was surprised when he thought he was agreed to fight Errol Spence. I was surprised by that. So when I'm looking at it now and I'm seeing him retire, I'm just looking at it like, well, he probably is still fighting those Jake Paul type fights, those thriller type fights. But in terms of actual high level, I don't see him doing that. And then in my mind, I'm just thinking, you still make the same amount of money fighting on those thriller cards or those what's the word? Jake Paul type fights. You still make the same amount of money, but it doesn't go against your record. So he's probably looking at it like that. Might as well still fight, but just retire and fight these amateurs.
Blunt, what was your first thoughts when you heard he retired?
Good and bad news.
I seen that earlier. Could you elaborate on that, brother?
I mean, it's good for him health wise, bro. You know what I mean? He still got some good years to enjoy on the planet. And personally, he did good in the sport. A couple questions around him, you know what I mean? But a lot of accomplishments. So at some point, man, you got to hang the spurs up, bro. You know what I mean? You can't keep kicking up dust, and your dust is amounting to a molehill. You understand what I'm talking about? So, like I said, just good and bad, man. You know what I mean? He talking about being the president of his country. So, in my estimation, I don't see no celebrity fights down that road if he's taking that road. What president of the country taking a celebrity boxing match? You know what I mean? So again, big salute to him and what his endeavors are in the future. But like I said, good and bad, man. I mean, he was a high seller in the sport. You know what I mean? He brought a lot of numbers to the table. And that was a good thing. Some good fights. But just the way he looked against a guy that don't really have the output, the combination output, just, you know what I mean? He kind of gave it to him. So, and then he's had some ugly losses too. So at some point you want to stop having those. You understand what I'm talking about? So it's, like I said, just good and bad, man.
Yeah, my initial thoughts were, I'm glad Errol Spence wasn't the one that was in the ring.
Put him on mute, Jeff. I can still hear your feedback.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my initial thoughts was basically, I'm glad his last fight was against a guy like Ugas, where he got beat on the cards, but he didn't get beat down, beat up, things like that. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that Errol Spence didn't make it to that fight, because I think if Errol Spence would have made it to that fight, it would have got extremely ugly. You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, great career. Multiple weight classes. I mean, he did it all. I mean, he fought everybody he could fight. As one of the type of guys he could fight in pretty much any era. Throw him in any era, and he's going to be competitive. Pretty much any era. And he just did some really, really good things in the sport. I think it's unfortunate that his name is always linked to Floyd, but I think he liked it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it did get him his one humongous bag in his career. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I just want to see. I think of Pacquiao no different than any other legend. At the end of the day, like, I just want to. Once my legends are gone, I don't want to see them back in the ring. Not on no celebrity status, not on no Jake Paul status, on no type of status, man. So I want all my legends to be celebrated, period. When they walk in the building, we talking about how great they were versus them going up against an MMA dude. or going up against, you know, some elderly dude that live on the corner or something. Like, nah, like he's retired. I want to see him stay retired, be the president of his country, keep doing for his people like he's been doing, and just be an ambassador for the sport from the outside. You understand what I'm saying? Vlog, get back in on this, bro.
Now we talking retirements. You brought up the word legends, and there is a fringe to that. And I just wanted to ask you guys about it. We got a guy like Andre Ward. Some can consider a legend. Definitely, you know, town representative. Salute to my G. And you know what I mean, put that Oakland boxing scene on the map and did it in a good way. Would you consider him somebody that's a fringe guy that should stay out the ring? Or are you talking more of the older guys, the Holyfields and those type of cats?
I don't want to see. I don't want to see Manny back in the ring. Just like I don't want to see Floyd back in the ring. I don't want to see Ward back in the ring. I just don't, because I mean, at the end of the day, if Ward steps back in the ring, if he wins, they're gonna say he didn't look as good as he did in the past. If he loses, they're gonna say he wasn't. You know.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
that's the problem, bro. Is when you bring these dudes back in the ring, we've seen it, Blunt, where dudes come back and they continue fighting and they ruin their legacy. You know, someone like Andre Ward, he retired, in my opinion, as a Hall of Famer. Why would you go out and then try come back, take on some of these young dogs and ruin your legacy? Kind of like, I know Hopkins didn't retire, but Hopkins kind of, not saying he ruined his legacy, but he went on a bit too long and his career ended a bit dark. So did the likes of Roy Jones Jr., Vander Holyfield and those dudes. Don't really want to remember them for the negative time. So kind of want him to be celebrated for where he left off and it stay like that.
Go ahead, bro.
Man, I respect that reply. I personally called for Ward because to me, he's a fringe fighter, one of those guys that didn't take a lot of damage. And I wouldn't estimate him coming back for these 3-4 unnecessary fights. He, like I said, he's a borderline to the question because it would be that one super mega fight against, you know what I mean, that other guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of brought that question up based on this retirement talk. But just trying to expand on the topic a little bit because that's an interesting fight to a lot of fans on boxing Twitter. I've seen a couple IG posts about, you know what I mean, possibilities of that. And like I said, you know, we ain't talking about a Ward that's been beat down in his career. You know what I mean? He left pretty fresh, high level. You know what I mean? So just started with interesting question to ask two insiders, two hardcore guys.
Before I get into the answering that, I gotta get in the comments real quick. We got a friend of the show, Kiki, in the building. What is going on? I'm gonna add an extra $10 to that bread I owe you. My birds got spanked on Monday. Yeah, man, it was bad, man. It was bad. I said I was trying to listen to. Hold on. Say it again, bro.
I cut it at halftime. That got ugly.
Yeah, man. She probably was drinking at halftime, bro. Kiki, I was trying to listen to the Fury interview on Top Rank, and he's down to me. Let me run through him real quick. It was only a matter of time for Manny to retire. It's time for him to move on. He did his thing. Yeah. Let me see. C. Quintanilla, 71. What's up, guys, from Inglewood, California? Inglewood in the building, man. What's going on with you? Underrated Darkness, man. Big shout out to you, brother. I was just on his live about 20 minutes ago. Big shout out to him.
On with him yesterday.
You was on with him yesterday? Okay.
Yeah. Solid fellas over there. Respect.
Absolutely. Conrad Boxing, big shout out to you. Hard to quit boxing when boxing was your life for the past 25 plus years since you were a little kid. That's true. That's true. Yeah, Underrated Darkness. Appreciate you, brother. Conrad, it's not like quitting an office job. Yeah, let me elaborate on that. Matter of fact, let me get the Blunts let me get the Blunt's question first. As far as Andre Ward is concerned, yeah, Andre Ward didn't take a lot of punishment. He retired relatively young. If you had to kind of nominate somebody to come back for one mega fight, it would be a guy like Ward. He would fit the description.
But Jeff, this is
Mm-hmm.
the thing, and I say this all the time. When a dude's thinking about retirement, it's sometimes not physical, bro. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes they
It's
just
all
can't
mental.
keep going through the camps. Now look at Vodzik, for example. Vodzik retired real young. And if you think about it, he was still in his prime, but he just retired. Prince Nassim was the same. And Andre Ward, I look at him and I'm thinking, after your biggest win of your career, maybe you just look at him like, you know what, I just don't have the inspiration that I used to have. You know, he's Olympian, world champion, multiple weight classes. So after you think, what is there left to give? You know, it's very important, especially in this business, to know when to call it a day. Lennox Lewis always used to say that. You have to know when to call it a day.
Go ahead, Vlog.
I would rebut this to what you just said specifically about Andre Ward's situation. There ain't no bag like this bag, bro. You understand what I'm talking about? Clash of eras, clash of superior guys at their status when one was boxing, and now that the one is current, people talking about them being pound for pound. So, you know what I mean? That's a major. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I just thought I still think it's a major possibility. I'll pay for it. I ain't gonna lie. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I feel y'all points. Y'all are hardcores. You guys know a little bit more. You know what I mean, about the intertwinings and the hurdles these dudes got to go through behind the scenes to even make a fight like that happen. So, you know what I mean? I can get y'all stances on it.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Blunt. I agree. I would watch the fight as well. But I'm just more talking about personality perspective. Andre Ward, through his career, never struck me as a person who was a money chaser. Not saying everybody loves money. Everybody loves money. I'm not saying he's going to be a person who won't take that. But I'm looking at it more from a perspective of you have a career and you were at the top. Are you going to risk a fight for a lot of money, but you're not really that money orientated? He's not that type of dude. If it was Floyd, I'd understand. But Ward, maybe I could be wrong.
No, it's an interesting point, because I didn't expect to get on here and we sprinkle in some Ward, but I'm glad you did, because it's the you on mute, but I'm pretty sure you said it's me, baby. Ward, I felt like he retired and he probably had a good 5 fights left, 5 to 6. I'm talking prime Andre Ward. I think them Kovalev fights took a little notch out of him a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? But I mean, if Canelo came knocking at his door and offered him a $30 million bag, I don't think he takes it. But if I was to approve anyone to come back for one fight, it would probably be Dre, because he hasn't taken that much punishment. But I still don't like it though.
But he's been out
still
the
don't
ring
like
for
it. He's been out the ring for a long time.
4 years now. It's 4 years.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't
and
like
it looks like he's getting into training fighters as well. So
yeah. And you know what, Vlog? I don't know if you was thinking this, brother, but if Andre Ward was being kind of conniving a little bit, him linking up with Caleb Plant to put himself in a limelight with Canelo to set him up with a Canelo, I'm not saying that's the case, but
to bring it full circle and bring it back to Pacquiao, though, Jeff, what I find a little bit more interesting than the retirement is more the. I'm asking you a question. Do you think he would have retired if he won?
If who won?
If Pacquiao won, do you think he would have retired?
Let me let Blunt answer that first. Go ahead, Blunt.
There's a reason I asked that, by the way.
No. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a possibility. I think it's a 50-50 thing because it's a good way to go out. You know what I mean? Nice solid win against a guy currently ranked, inside the top 10, so-called belt holder. You know what I mean? And a bigger guy. Naturally, Ugas is a bigger guy, so win against Spence or Ugas, I think possibility he retired.
Go ahead, Shane.
The reason I asked that is because Ugas was a late replacement. So I'm just saying, let's say he fought Errol Spence. To me, the reason why I agree with Blunt is because if I look at it and I'm thinking, for years, he never really wanted the Spence fight. Even after he beat Furman, there was no eagerness to fight Spence. So it does seem to me that he was looking at it as like a handing over of the torch kind of thing.
Let me actually, those are really good points. I think he went into the Spence fight actually thinking he was going to win that fight. And I say that for this reason, because he was looking at Spence. He looked at the Danny fight. It was just like, okay, he beat Danny, but Danny ain't me. And then he probably looked at it, was like, he coming from a major car accident and all that. And, he can't be the same. He can't be the same fighter. You know what I mean? So he probably went into that Spence fight probably thinking like, yeah, I think I can beat him. So I do think there's a chance that he could have retired if he would have beat Spence or even Ugas. Or even Ugas at the end of the day, because there's not one person in the sport that's going to command a huge bag of money. Like Spence brings a certain bag, Terrence Crawford would bring a certain bag. Really outside of that, there's really not anybody else to bring Manny the bag that he really, really wanted. Bless you. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna agree with Blunt on this one, man. There's a 50-50 chance that he would have still retired even with the, even if he would have won. But let me get in the comments real quick before I let y'all go. Kiki said I was drinking before the fight. I mean before the before the game, during at the bar, and after, talking noise to the lonely Eagles fan at the bar gave him hell. Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't me. My bro Tree James in the building. What's going on? Underrated Darkness said, Manny, he nothing but talk. He waiting for another payday. How y'all feel about that? Matter of fact, Vlog, I'm gonna let you go first on that.
Too much noise, bro. Put me on mute.
Enough said. Shane, go.
I mean, as I said, I know, I hear what Blunt says and I agree. Can you imagine the president of whatever country he is being in celebrity matches? But I do feel like there is a chance that this dude might do some Triller cards. I do think that, because I think they'll pay a lot of money for him. If you think about it, like, there's a lot of fights they could make with Manny Pacquiao and he'll make a lot of money. So, and I mean, it's easy money for him, plus it doesn't go against his record. So why wouldn't he do it? But obviously, if he's taking politics serious, then he won't. So that's my answer.
I just don't see Manny being on a Triller card. I hear what you're saying. It could happen.
He was willing to fight. He was willing to fight Conor McGregor, though.
Yeah, but Conor McGregor's name was hot as fish grease at that time, though.
So is Jake Paul.
But Conor McGregor is more respected in terms of combat sports.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I think that was the reason why he was entertaining.
Manny is a bit more. He's got a bit more class than Mayweather. Mayweather don't care.
But you could tell Mayweather he got to sweep an entire strip mall for $10 million. He's gonna sweep that entire strip mall, yo.
Literally,
like for real. You know what I mean? Got Conrad in the building. Hold on, lost my place. Conrad said, I'm gonna run through these. Conrad said, I also can't believe he will go out on a loss. I expect a lucrative exhibition match at least. Said, imagine the president of the Philippines in the ring. That stuff sells. LOL. Even if it is only a show match, casuals won't know. Kiki's thinking. Quintanilla 71. I'm just gonna call you 71 because I done nailed your name twice. I don't know if I can nail it 3 times. Say Keith Thurman should be a commentator. Kiki said Bias Spence is from out here, so I understand that. Jay Banks in the building. What's going on? I actually want to get into. Let me go back to Conrad's comment. This goes to what Shane was saying. Just in terms of like the exhibition matches. I mean, if Manny wanted to make a quick $10 million, $15 million, like yeah, he could do that. I think the only guarantee that would get Manny out of retirement is Floyd gave him a call. I think that's the only thing that'll get him out of retirement, like for sure, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see
I
that.
don't see.
I definitely see that. It's difficult because with Manny Pacquiao, he's a dude who has a very selective. Like he's very weird and he does things quite impulsive. Like if you think about it, for years he didn't take the Spence fight. Then he would all of a sudden took the Spence fight, and then the inactivity in and outside the ring. Then after the Marquez knockout, you would have thought, yeah, it's time for you to call it a day. After the Mayweather loss, you'd have thought it's time for you to call it a day. But if you're saying he would have retired at the top, you would have thought he would have retired after he beat Furman. Because that year he was one of the fighters of the year. He beat Broner and he beat Furman. That's retiring at the top. He still kept going. So he's a dude where maybe he can't find a detachment. Some fighters just love fighting and he just can't detach himself from the boxing ring.
So do you think I'm gonna ask both y'all this question? Do you kind of think he suffers from the same thing as B Hop did? Just he's gonna continue to fight until somebody retires him. Do you think it was that you think it was that deep with Manny Vlog? Is it okay to go with you, brother? Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think he was in that kind of what they were saying about Mike, just that contractual situation where you gotta fight. Because Mike was taking some fights a couple years there. We looking at him like, what is you doing? But maybe he owed fights. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. I'm not in the back room with these dudes. So I think that's why he continued to take some of these fights after that Marquez lost.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm still asking, Manny, are you okay? On some Mike Jack, Manny, are you okay?
That's a good point. The reason why I say that's a real good point is because if you think about it, Al Heyman paid him a bag of money. He didn't just pay him a bag of money for for A, B, and Furman. He paid him a bag of money because he also wanted to set up some of his other fighters. Now you look at it, Ugas is, as Jeff loves to say, he's gone from ashy to classy. So obviously he's more of he's a dude at PBC who can sell, I assume. The truth is, Al Heyman would be a fool. He would have been a damn fool for him to have Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao beat 2 of his fighters, and Manny Pacquiao just retired. Now Al Heyman would have been 2 fighters down or 3 fighters down, and just have Errol. If you think about it, he would have just had Errol because 2 of his fighters would have lost to Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao would have lost, and Manny Pacquiao would have retired. So maybe what Blunt is saying is true. Maybe he was contractually obligated. You're on mute, Jeff.
I'm sorry, I had a hiccup. I'm sorry. My guys came and picked me up when I was slipping. I'm sorry. Nah, Blunt, that was a great point. Hold on. Go ahead and get it out.
It's me, baby. Come on, man. You know it, man. Come on.
I gotta get that on. We gotta get that on some shirts or something. Get some merchandise going. But yeah, that was a great point by Blunt. If Al was really like had his like real business hat on, like really wanted to get busy, what he should have did is when he signed when he signed Manny, he should have just went on and bought Bud out of his contract too, and just let Manny just go on a fucking gauntlet. Just let him go on a pay-per-view gauntlet. He could have went Broner, Thurman, Spence.
Well, bro, let's
Bud.
keep it real though. Let's keep it all the way 100. Do you think Bob would have let him do that? As much as he would have had the money, Bob ain't gonna do that. Bob ain't gonna let him just monopolize the entire division. Remember at that time, bro, when he signed Pacquiao, Bud still had 2 years left on that contract, bro.
Let me tell you why my example would have been legit. I didn't say when he should have did it. So let's just say he would have beat Ugas, right? Let's just say he would have beat Ugas. Bud's a free agent, right? So Bud owes Top Rank a fight. I want people to understand this. Even though Terrence Crawford contract is up, he still owes Bob a fight. So he's still under Bob until the Sean Porter fight gets off. So that loss to Ugas was crazy because I think what Al probably was going to do is he probably wanted for Manny. Of course, he wanted Manny to win that fight. Spence comes back. He throws him up against Spence, signs Bud, puts him up against Bud. That probably was Al's plan, going to what you said, Shane. Like, Bob wasn't going to let him do that. And I do agree with that.
You know the craziest thing, bro? And this is a bit of a side note. That Sean Porter fight, mandatory, was probably a blessing, an absolute blessing for Terrence Crawford. I'll tell you why. Because if that mandatory didn't get called, I can see Bob sitting him on the bench for a year. I can see him doing it. He done it with Zerdo. He just sat him on the bench, done it with Mikey. Yeah. But he couldn't do it because the mandatory was called and he knew people was going to put money up for that fight. So he had to make a deal. Because if he didn't, he would have had Crawford sitting on the bench. Look, Crawford ain't fought all year. He hasn't fought all year. He only fought until the mandatory got called. I could easily see him getting put on the bench.
It was a big difference between your contract running out and how many fights you're owed. You understand what I'm saying? So I need for people to understand that. Let me get in the comment section real quick. Andre Southgate is in the building. What's going on, brother? He said, what a heck of a legacy for Manny. Done his country proud. I believe if he doesn't win for president, he may return. But if he wins that, the announcement was needed. Stay focused on being the president. That's a good point. Jay Banks said anyone except Lennox. I gotta go back to 71's comment. MMA boxing.
He's saying Furman should have been a commentator. So he's saying anyone except Lennox.
Hold on, Jay Banks. That's the realest thing I done heard in this comment section. Lennox is the worst announcer in the history of just announcing. Period. Like he's hard. Now George Foreman was a close second. But Lennox Lewis takes that.
Who's your favorite? Who's your top 5?
Who's my top 5 announcers?
Just commentators.
I like Roy.
Me as well.
Roy was a good commentator. I thought Antonio Tarver was a good commentator. Who else? I like
Sean. I'm not gonna lie. I like
Sean Porter.
I like him.
I'm on the fringe about Sean. I like. You know what? I got one that vlog appreciate. Barry Tompkins.
That's my guy, man.
Barry
but
Tompkins.
You know who I was gonna say? What's the boy from ESPN? He do all the sports. He do football. He do boxing too. Not Max, the other guy. He ringside. He be at the fights. But I can't think of his name. But people that watch ESPN regularly, they know who I'm talking about. But he's that.
You're talking about the black dude. What's that black dude?
No, he's a white boy. He a white boy. He do all the sports. Like he's a college dude. He do pro football.
I gotta think about that.
I wouldn't know. I don't know if ESPN.
Yeah, Barry Tompkins definitely is in my top 5.
You know who else I like?
Hold on. Go ahead, bro.
I'm with Shane. I got mad respect for that work that Sean did on PBC on the little side show. Him and Abner too. Gotta give him some props on what he was doing behind that mic. Got to give him a lot of proper. So, you know, and low key, the bull from Top Rank, Bradley, so. You know what I mean?
Bradley has improved, but he's
They
still
just
not
got too
there
many
yet.
narratives over there, bro. They narrative thing is just, they just need to let the fight go, and they kind of talk what you know they expect to happen, and that sort of.
I like this. He don't do it anymore. He used to be with HBO, Joe Tessentore. I like him as well. He was good.
That's the one that be all over the place, Joe Tessentore. He
That's
be
who
on
I was
ESPN all
talking
over
about.
the place. Joe
That's who
Tessentore.
I was talking
Yeah.
about.
He was at
That's
HBO for a while with Teddy Atlas. He was real good.
Facts. Hold on. MMA Boxing said what a legend Pac-Man was. Yeah, he did a lot for the sport, man. Definitely did a lot for the sport. Hold on a second. Hold on, Blunt. I got you. Hold on. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, bro. We getting a lot of kudos. The man getting his flowers. Now, I wouldn't be me if I didn't do this and ask this question. Where we at on the Nevada side of the game? Where we at, man? Is he the Barry Bonds of boxing? Or is, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna say this. When he does the Triller cards, you don't need Varda. That's what I know. If he does them Triller cards, you don't need Varda.
All right. Hold on. I'll tackle that. So anybody that's in boxing circles, hardcore fan, over the past 10 plus years, there's always been rumors about Manny and you know the finest juices. Has he ever had a positive test? No. And this is a different type of speculation too, because it is from prominent people in the sport that were speculating as well. So I think it's a cloud, but it depends on it depends on how deep you want to take it, because I can say the same thing for Floyd too. Because it was rumors about Pac and it was rumors about Floyd. It was more rumors about Pac than Floyd, but because he did not get a quote unquote positive test, I'll leave that for the back room. You know what I mean? And but I mean it's a legit question, because you can't say that's not a legit question, because you know who else would ask that same question? Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas would ask that exact same question. But let me jump in this comment section real quick. D Hodges in the building. What's going on, player? 71 said, nice listening to guys. Unfortunately, lunch break is over. I'm going back to work. Make some sales. I feel you, bro. Bro, catch the playback. Catch the playback, brother. Beams 2K, what's going on? Big shout out to you, Beams 2K. Kiki says Snoop for the announcers. That's funny, yo. That's funny. Hold on, Blunt. Go ahead.
That's facts. That's facts. He did a hell of a job on that one. Facts.
Oh, that's funny. D Hyde just said Roy Jones. Yeah. Lennox Lloyd. Hell no. 71. I had Paulie was good too. I forgot about Paulie.
Yeah. Paulie was good, but there's a stigma attached to this dude, because this dude was very good at calling fights, but his predictions before fights were real trash. Like, I just remember how he used to predict fights. Like, while fights were live, he was good, but his predictions before fights.
Really trash. His predictions was horrible, but he called fights. He's one of the best. He said, I need to get to work. Hey man, get the playback, brother. You listen to it tonight, tomorrow. Conrad, Snoop and Ray together would be fire. That's funny. Snoop and Roy, yeah, that would be fire, yo. Snoop and Roy Jones, that'd be.
I like Roy Jones. I really like Roy Jones because the thing about Roy Jones is, I mean, fighters give fighters perspectives, but Roy Jones gives expert perspective. Like, there's rarely times Roy Jones speaks and I'm like, I don't know why he said that. Timothy Bradley sometimes comes across like he's trying to be too smart.
I'm not fucking with Tim Bradley because he took my whole lab coat idea. So until me and him have a conversation, he's on my shit list. With all due respect. What was that, Blunt?
I agree. You know, I mean, we can go talk to him if you want to. They out there in Vegas. You know what I mean?
We here, you know, but we need to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, that was stolen property, baby. Stolen property.
Absolutely. Stolen property, man. Your fingerprints is on the evidence, brother. We got D-Hop just said B-Hop was good. I ain't like B-Hop as an announcer. I ain't like B-Hop.
I'm trying to remember. He doesn't have the personality to be an announcer, to be honest.
Hold on, let me get this out the way real quick. This is a sidebar. Do you think B-Hop deserves a statue in the city, Blunt?
Can I answer that?
Shane, go ahead.
I'm not from Philadelphia. And I'll say this with chest. I'll say this live on a person who's from Philadelphia. YSM will vouch for me. Everybody I asked about Bernard Hopkins, they all said he ain't shit because he ain't done nothing for the city. I swear, this is something I can't make up because I'm not from Philly. But when I was in Philly, they all said it to me. Literally, I can name the people who said it, but I just wouldn't call them out like that. They all said he ain't shit because he ain't done nothing for the city.
Let me address that. And with Vlog being from the city, and I'm in the city, I'm gonna say this. I know Vlog will appreciate this. When people say you ain't do nothing for the city, usually they mean this. Handout. Hold on. Vlog, am I lying?
No, what you wanted this how you wanted to say it. When they say he ain't do nothing for the city, they trying to say he ain't do nothing for me.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying this, by the way, because I'm not from Philly. I'm not saying this, Blunt. It's not something I can come up with because I'm not from Philly. It's what people told me.
No, I'm addressing what people told you. So when people say that in the city, right? It's exactly what Blunt said. It's you didn't do anything for me. So I'm gonna tell you what they was thinking when they said that. B-Hop is a quote unquote legend in the city, right? So people that's in the city, they thinking, oh, B-Hop is a legend. He could have bought us a gym. He could have built a gym where everybody can fight, can train for free. Because he didn't do that, they'll make a statement to you like that. Another thing, the Blue Horizon. The Blue Horizon was supposed to have been taken back over years and years and years ago and basically revamped. People are still upset with B-Hop because he didn't really get behind that movement. You understand what I'm saying? And that was a spot on Broad Street I drove you past. You was like, that joint was real small. Yeah. Another reason is B-Hop doesn't take on Philly fighters under his wing. The only person he took under his wing was Jesse Hart, and that's only because Jesse Hart was with him when he was like young. So there's a difference between B-Hop just having his own life and being an ambassador for the city. B-Hop is an ambassador for the city because of what he did inside of the ring. That's number one. Number two, Philly has a problem with giving guys their flowers. What did you tell me the one person in the city? I'm going to get to you in a second, Vlog. Shane, when we was riding around the city, who's the one person that we say should be the stamp of the city, but he don't get talked about?
Joe Frazier.
Absolutely. Vlog, go ahead.
Go on.
Go ahead,
I can't deny what you're saying, man. And if you separate that outside the ring stuff, you'll be nitpicking about what he didn't do compared to what he did do, because I'm sure he did some things. Like, come on, you are not this. You've claimed the city your whole entire life. You're not doing something on your block. You haven't did something for the neighbors, your family. You know what I mean? You got your nephew in the game. You know, I'm sure he got a little bag going on. So he's done some things because it hasn't newsworthy and international affair about it. That's, you know what I mean? A little nitpick is when you want to say don't get a man no statue.
Hey, and you know what? Let me add on to that. For the people that say B-Hop ain't shit because he ain't do shit for the city. First of all, people forgot. Like I know we're getting off topic, but we're gonna get back on it. This is why I have a problem with that statement. This man came from out of prison and turned himself into a legend. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's facts. He came from out of prison. He wasn't supposed to be in the ring with Roy Jones. He wasn't supposed to have the middleweight title. He wasn't supposed to have 20 plus title defenses. He wasn't supposed to have none of that. You talking about a dude that stood on his square, stood on his own two. He battled the Don Kings. He battled the Bob Arams. He battled the promoters. So he may not have did anything for you personally, but I'm like, he set an example for the city in terms of you can be in jail, be incarcerated, get out and do something for yourself and do something for your family and do something for your community. For that reason alone, you shouldn't make that statement. You understand what I'm saying? You should not make that statement. On top of that, I'm like, he is top 5 in terms of fight figures in Philly's history. Period.
Maybe even higher than top 5, bro. Maybe even higher. Maybe top 2. Maybe top 2.
Top 3.
No, he's definitely top. He's definitely, because to be fair, the most famous Philly fighter ain't even a fighter, and that's Rocky. And if I'm being honest, but obviously you've got what's it called, Joe Frazier. To me, brother Prince Nassim, he's gonna have to go down in history, but not Prince Nassim. I'm talking about
You talking about brother Nassim Richardson.
Brother Nassim Richardson, not Prince Nassim. Nassim Richardson. He's another dude who went down for the city.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, my thing is this: like, you can't say a person ain't do shit because they didn't help you out. Like, that man did everything for the city because he led by example. So when you're saying he didn't do shit, there's 50 other kids in the gym that's motivated because they seen a dude like Bernard Hopkins come from out of jail and make that shit happen. So me personally, anyone, hold on, Shane, hold on. Anybody that says that Bernard Hopkins ain't do shit for the city, they would have to personally explain to me why he ain't shit because he ain't do shit for the city. They'll have to explain that to me.
I mean, some of the fighters even say that, bro. Some of even the young fighters even said that, which I found shocking. But
that's a shame.
I couldn't disagree because I'm not from Philly.
It's a shame. I'm from Philly. I'm willing anyone from Philly that feel that way and they want to come on the show and express why and explain to me why, you gonna have to convince me. Cause I'm the person, cause I'm like, you could say all you want. It's a whole different ball game where you gotta lead by example. So I mean, you gotta lead by example.
I'm from the UK, and the only fighter from UK that I think about that actually done something for their city is Ricky Hatton. Everybody else, I mean, I don't remember any London fighter doing anything for London. I don't remember what David Hay done, but nobody says anything, even though they're still in the public eye. The only person I can think of is Ricky Hatton. So when I went to America, I thought people would praise Bernard Hopkins. I did not get that.
Shane, they wouldn't say that shit in front of Jesse Hart. Whoever told you that. There's certain people in the city they wouldn't say that in front of. Like, they was comfortable within the gym y'all was at. You know what I'm saying? But they wouldn't say that in front of certain people. They just wouldn't. There's a whole different ball game. You lead by example. And on top of that, I'm gonna throw this in and vlog. I want to get your thoughts. the majority of Bernard Hopkins' big fights was in Atlantic City. For the people that believe that crap, he couldn't get a fight in his own city because he couldn't guarantee the bag in his own goddamn city. Because he wasn't confident that his own city would come out and support him. That's a fact.
Bro, go through the comments. You got so much.
I got you. Vlog, am I lying?
I mean, you there, but also though, I think the AC move had more to do with the glitziness of what they was doing with the Broadwalk at that time. You know, they was the East Coast version of Vegas. So, you know, you got to have a big fight. You got to have that sort of thing going on there. So, I mean, I think it was half and half. I believe you. I know you're right about the numbers. That's fact though. But at the same time, on the management side and Bernard and them looking at it, it still had to do about, you know, maybe trying to use that tourism side of AC to push yourself and expand your networking. You understand what I'm saying?
No, that's true. And I'm gonna get to the comments in a second. That's 100% facts. But I know for a fact B-Hop tried to get a home game. He couldn't get a home game because it didn't make business sense, because they couldn't guarantee that the guy could sell out the spot. But these the same people are saying that he ain't shit because he ain't do shit for the city. He couldn't get a home game. I know AC was the glitz and glamour and all of that, but
before you go to the comment section, bro, if you think about it, most of the dudes now, they don't give a shit about Philly. Like, if we're keeping it real, Tevin Farmer, he won his world title, ran off. Danny Garcia won his world title, ran off. I mean, none of these dudes actually, I rate J-Rock. J-Rock's still in the city. But none of these dudes, when they make it to a high level, actually stay.
Yeah, and I'm like, if B-Hop ain't do shit, if he's not shit because he ain't do shit for the city, then who has? Who had? Hold on, vlog. I got you.
Hey, Farmer ain't doing no lawns in the city. That boy out there in Jersey somewhere with that little business company that they got going on. So the young boy got a point with that. The young boy got a point with that.
So
I mean,
if B-Hop ain't if he's not shit because he ain't do shit for the city, then who has? Who has? Let me get in the comments,
taken
man.
that Eddie Hearn money and built a gym. All that Eddie Hearn money that he got from the zone that he was stealing, fighting those European trash fighters, he should have put that money and built a gym, bro. He was stealing a living under the zone.
That's funny. English guy in the building. What's going on? D Hodges. DSG, $10 super chat. We appreciate you, brother. He said, when someone from Philly say you didn't do anything for the city, ignore it. More than likely they stuck in the 5-mile radius mentality and have a poisonous attitude that's basically jealousy. DSG, that's a great point. I think when people in Philly make it, they expect for that person to take care of every single person in the city. And it just don't work like that. Like, it don't work like that. That same B-Hop that they saying ain't shit is they the same people. If B-Hop was walking down their block, they'd be trying to rob him. Well, hold on. Now I can get vlog in on this one. Now, tell me I'm lying about that. Tell me I'm lying about that. They not gonna look at him like a lick, like he a lick.
Man, homie, them niggas is hyenas out there, nigga.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't. Yeah, man. You can't buy that. You can't buy that talk. And the thing is, YSM, that's my guy. But anybody that said that in that gym, even if he thinks that, they come see me. They come see me. I ain't going nowhere in the city. They come see me about that. I don't buy that. You know what I'm saying? And if they do buy that, you got to tell me who's done something consistently for the city from a boxing perspective, and then come back to me.
Truth is, bro. In fact,
I'm gonna run through them. DSG.
Don't forget me though. Don't forget.
I got you. They don't put in real work. Don't isolate themselves from the local bullshit. Put Joe Frazier, Black Thought, and B-Hop in front of the art museum. I ain't got no problem with that. English guy, what's real crazy is if B-Hop hadn't gone to prison, he might never have taken up boxing. That's a fact. That's 100% facts. DSG shit. Even AI or Gilly, the AKA the Chicken Man. That's funny. Bruce Gold's Philly has a statue to Rocky. Where's Frazier?
That was my point when I was there, bro.
A Bruce Gold. So Shane was in the city. So I was running him around and all that. So he seen the statue of Rocky. He like, yo, where Joe Frazier joint? You know what I'm saying? English guy, it's a good point. Joe Frazier is who I think of when I think of Philadelphia. That's what Shane said. Philly is toxic. Yeah. First person at least. Hold on, let me get Vlog in. Hold on. Vlog, cook your stuff.
Man, just a big shout out to the oven, baby. You know what I mean? Broad and Lehigh. You know, the real ones know where it was at, what we was doing in there. You understand me? So big shout out to Joe for that love and that opportunity that I had in this gym. And I seen him once in there, you know what I mean? He ain't do the rounds, but you know, people spoke to him. It was cool to speak with him and all of that. He wasn't no like super big celebrity head like that, but it's just one of them days he wasn't really in there greeting everybody. But Joe was a solid dude though, man. All due respect to the gym and all them old coaches and shit, man. I had a ball. I learned how to do the thing thug thizzle up in that joint. You feel me?
Yeah, and the thing is for Joe Frazier needs a gym. He needs a statue at the art museum. It's one in the city, but it's not at the art museum. We need that thing at the art museum. Like where it's at. I didn't take Shane down there. It's in the wrong spot.
You know the craziest thing, bro? When I think about America, not a lot of cities. 1 second is a back person. One second. But yeah, when I think about America, that's why I love what Texas is doing right now. They actually take pride in their fighters right now. Look at what they take pride in. Errol, take pride in the Charlo brothers. They're really putting this Dallas, Texas scene. They're putting it on their back and they're carrying it. I'm thinking, I don't remember ever seeing that in previous eras. Mexicans do it, but I don't remember other people actually doing it. Maybe you guys can correct me.
Let me speak on that real quick. Texas is doing a great job of that. Errol Spence, he come to Texas, it's going to be a packed house. The Charlo brothers get mad love there. Canelo comes there, mad love. The thing is, Texas gives their guys an opportunity for a home game. And this is no disrespect to Philly, but if you can't have a boxing match in the same arena that the Sixers play in, if you can't sell out a stadium where the Eagles play, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? The 2300 arena ain't getting it. Jesse Hart has been in the game for what, 10 years? He shouldn't be fighting at the 2300 arena. Shouldn't be fighting at 20. Like his home game had to be at the 2300 arena. And again,
where was Vodzik versus
that was at the Leah Kouros Center. That's Temple. That's where Temple basketball team play. But outside of where the Sixers play, that's the biggest arena we have in the city. Jesse Hart couldn't even get that. Because you got to sell a certain amount. You got to guarantee a certain amount.
Even if you look at Boots ain't even getting home games right now.
Boots got a 2300 home game. He got a 2300 home game.
I know.
Right now, he's not getting a home game because they can't guarantee that Philly people are going to pack the spot. But y'all the same people saying that B-Hop ain't shit. Hold on, let me let BoxingFirstVlog cook. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this about my city. My city, made me who I am. So y'all might get a little bit of that through this lives and all of that interacting with me. But this the same city that booed Santa Claus. Just saying, bro. That's the mentality of them people, bro. You understand what I'm talking about? So it is what it is. We ain't all like that, but it kind of it helps to mold you and make you who you are, though. You feel me? So I know, it just, like I said, that's the only way I can explain the city, man. Just for people that know that, they remember that, they tell them to look it up. It was when Destiny Child and them had did the little all-star joint, and they had them out. They was all in that East West, and man, them people was out there booing like people had took their last check or something, bro.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Like it's crazy. I just hearing that, Shane, you probably been better off not telling me that. I can't stand hearing that type of stuff, man, because it's just like they're quick to say somebody else not doing something. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, and that go, look, yo, and Shane, I don't care who said it. I don't care who said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who said it. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy. Let me get in the comment section, man, if I start getting on my blunt shit. Hold on, yo. DSG said, on the other side of the coin, hold on, vlog. On the other side of the coin, Philly want you to give, but they don't support or sustain a legacy. That's a fact. Bruce Goes, Philly never welcomed home Sonny Liston when he beat Patterson, and he never got over it. He came home to an empty, rainy airport. That's a fact.
Sonny Liston was from Philly.
Yeah.
That's my point. I didn't even know that, bro. I didn't even know that, bro. Philly don't claim their fighters then, because I've never known that.
Yo, we don't. Yo, and that's the thing. But you know what though? Like, you take like Boxing Learner. What's going on, good brother? You take like a YSM, right? Like YSM being there, Jim. Like, he knows the history of boxing. He knows the history of boxing. Like, he knows Philly don't embrace nobody. Think about it. Over the past 30, 40, 50 years, you can mention all of the hot fighters. Danny Garcia never really got a home game. Jesse Hart never really got a home game. Boots never really got a home game. And I'm talking big arena. Didn't get a home game. B-Hop never got a home game. Like, I mean, how far back you want me to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, they didn't even put, even if they didn't feel like one person could sell out the arena, they could have made it an all Philly card and sold out an arena. They didn't even have enough confidence to do that. All they do in the city, and guys like YSM know this is true. All they do in Philly is they want to put Philly fighters versus Philly fighters. Now, if anybody from Philly that's watching this live, or you watching it on a playback, you ask anybody in Philly that question: what do promoters in the city do to Philly fighters? They try to put Philly fighters up against each other. That's a fact. So anybody talking that nonsense, talking about, you know, this person don't do this and this person don't do that for the city, like that's bullshit. Philly has an unfortunate reputation for not embracing they boxers. They'll embrace other people. They embraced AI. They embrace the Eagles. They embrace the Phillies when they making their run. They'll embrace the Flyers. We talking boxers. They don't embrace their boxers. That's why Tevin Farmer took that money, ran to Jersey. You understand what I'm saying? DSG ran to Jersey. Everybody runs to the outskirts. Nobody's here in Philly. Because Philly wants to say, oh, well, nobody embrace us, this, that, and the third, but we don't even embrace our own. That's a fact.
How did we turn a live about Pacquiao into Philly? It's funny.
Hey, man, you know, these lives. Hold on, vlog. Hold on, vlog. Hold on. Go ahead, bro.
Philly is the #1 boxing city, though. I mean, like, if you're talking, like, historically, there ain't no other city can compare to the history that we brought into boxing. And from my estimation, maybe I'm being a homer. I just think so. You know what I mean?
I would say
comparison, couple New York, you know, a little boroughs from New York. Maybe that Cleveland area, but just in general, now Houston on the map. Big shout out to them. You know what I mean? Ammo Williams, them sort of cats coming out that way. So, you know what I mean? Jaime Munguia from down that way, I do believe. We know Ortiz Jr. Virgil, he from down that way, so they got it going on right now. But just historically, I put us in the top 3, bro, as far as just what sort of production that came out of the city towards boxing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
To Shane, to answer your question about Vlog, that's a great point. I would say top 3. To answer your question, it's just I think it was a comment in the comment section about B-Hop, and I kind of just matter of fact, it was the question about they were saying matter of fact, Shane, you the reason why we talking about B-Hop. You the reason. You heard me, Shane?
It's crazy. Yeah, I heard what you said. It's crazy because I'm looking at it more like this. Like, when you think of historical cities, I mean, Vegas has to be one just because of the fight nights there, but it hasn't really produced a lot of fighters. But it's a historical city just because of the fight nights. I mean, Philadelphia is the first thing I think of when I think of American boxing. You know, Philadelphia is the first thing I think of.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, man. Like, that's why that comment that you made, Shane, that what other people were saying, it kind of just struck a nerve with me. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just, I think if you're not in the city or you're not from the city, you're not going to really understand. But for the people that's not from the city and they don't know who's right or wrong in this situation, I'm just going to ask you this one question. What Philly fighter, who's the last Philly fighter to get a major home game? That's all I'm at. Like, come get back with us. You can get back to me. You can get back to Shane. You can get back to Vlog on that one. What last Philly fighter got a major home game? And I'm not talking about the 2300 arena.
How much does the 2300 hold? 2300?
It may be less than that. Go ahead, Vlog.
I'm talking about even the smaller joints like the Blue Horizon, because these fights might have been on televised. People would be like, "Oh, that was a big fight." No, it wasn't. We talking about pay-per-view S level. The city has just saying they just never done it, bro.
And the thing, you know what? Hey, Vlog, I'm gonna even go here, man, because I know somebody's gonna say, "Oh, well, you can make more money in New York. You can make more money in AC." I know somebody's going to say that. Yeah, that's true. But there's been plenty of Philly fighters that got enough juice to say when DSG was at his peak, DSG could have went to a promoter and said, "I'm not fighting anywhere else until I get a home game at the Sixers."
He could have fought Furman or Sean in the Sixers arena.
In the Sixers arena. He could have. And they would have took that fight because they wasn't like they was traveling across the country. They would have took the fight. Sean would have definitely took the fight in Philly.
Because Sean don't sell out his own area.
He don't sell out his own area. So he would have took that. So, yeah, nobody, like, Danny Garcia had to go to the Bark. They say this is how bad Philly is. Danny Garcia considers the Barclays home. Is that a fact? That's a fact. B-Hop considered Atlantic City home for big fights. That's a fact. Boots can't get a big fight here. Jesse Hart can't get a big fight here. Tevin Farmer can't get a big fight here.
What about J-Rock?
J-Rock can't. Listen, J-Rock and Rosario went down at the Liacouras. J-Rock and Rosario went down at the Liacouras. That's the last time they took a risk.
Where was that?
At the Liacouras Center.
Where's that?
That was a joint on Broad Street. Remember, I was like, this where Temple is, and we rolled past the spot. This was before we got to the cheesesteak spot.
Yeah.
On Broad Street, yeah, the Liacouras Center. That's where Vosdik and Beterbiev went down. That's the last Philly fighter that got a halfway decent look. And he had to he was unified.
That fight wasn't pay-per-view though.
It wasn't pay-per-view neither. And to be honest with you, the Beterbiev and Vosdik fight was jumping more than that fight. There was more of a buzz for Lomachenko and Usyk for the meet and greet than the main event. Like people was there, but it was like a bunch of. You could tell it was just a bunch of
I
family
want to
and
ask you
just
a
stuff
question
like
just
that.
to cap things off. Bring it back to
Yeah,
Pacquiao.
yeah.
Last 10 years, since the turning of the millennium, so last 20 years, how would you rank Pacquiao in terms of, like, is he the number one? Obviously, he had Floyd. Is he the number five? Like, is he the best fighter of the
I,
last 20 years? Where do
I'm
you
gonna let
where do you
Vlog
rank?
go first on this one. I'm gonna let Vlog go first
No,
on this one.
no, no,
You don't want
no.
no problems.
I'ma go. I'ma cook.
You want
I'ma
to
cook.
cook first?
Nah, do your thing, man. This your show. Do your thing.
All right. Last 20. He's definitely not ahead of Floyd. In my opinion. I think he's in terms of the last 20 years, I would say he's probably top 5 in terms of popularity. In terms of kind of being one of the signature guys in the sport, I would say he was top 5. And I'm talking overall, being a cash cow, taking on the tough opponents, pretty much fighting any and everybody.
I'm
Really
just
just
talking about in terms of, like, greatness and specific
greatness.
numbers. Don't just say top 5. Literally tell me where you think he ranks.
That's a tough question, bro. Because over the last 20, I would say I think Floyd is number 1 in the past 20. Ooh. You might have to come back to me on that one. A specific number? That's
You
a
go.
good
What
question.
about you, Blunt? What about you, Blunt?
Hold on. So the last 20, so we talking, it's from 2000 up. So that's man. Damn. That's a good question, bro. I don't know. I know he's top 5. I know that for sure. Specific number, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an
What
answer to
about you,
that.
Blunt? What
Hold
about you,
on. Let
Blunt?
me get Blunt in here. Go ahead, bro. Cook up.
All right, bro. 20 years. Resume, top 5. Accomplishments, outside the top 10. A lot of people talk that 8-weight division. Look, my dude, it wasn't my fault he was born 15 pounds. I mean, like 5 pounds soaking wet, and then he grew like that. I can't really accredit that because we as humans, we don't fluctuate on an athletic level like that. So that's cool within itself, but I don't rank it highly because you never really like dominated a certain division consistently to be like, oh, he moved up, dominated 2-3 years, moved up, dominated 2-3 years. You know what I mean? I'm hit and miss with that.
In
So
terms of
accomplishment
greatness,
wise,
no,
because of
just
all his
greatness.
knockouts, bro. Hey, I mean, the man got short, man. That's I don't know, bro. That's a hard one, but popularity, all of that, making money, cash cow, all that, you gotta put him up there. But you got guys like Andre Ward was able to lead the game perfect to a certain extent. You got, Floyd, you know what I mean? So you talking 20 years, it's hard to rank him. But now if you talking like Hall of Fame, just overall career, I would
That's
say
what I
wherever
mean.
you put
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
overall, I would anybody that ranks Hall of Famers, wherever you got Bernard, that's where I'm putting Pacquiao. So wherever anybody on whatever they list is for Bernard Hopkins, I'll put Pacquiao right there to coincide their list. That's the best
Shane,
way
you
I
want to
can
go on
rank
that?
him overall.
Go ahead, Shane.
So, in my opinion, when I asked the question, I just meant in terms of just raw greatness, like selling, whatever. That didn't really matter to me. I just meant raw greatness ability. Floyd's obviously number 1. When I think about it, the last 20 years of people like Andre Ward, like Blunt said, you had obviously, I know you're not going to want to hear this, Blunt, but you had Klitschko, you had dudes like you had Golden Boy. He was in the last 20 years as well. I mean, I wouldn't say Roy because Roy's greatness was in the 90s. I wouldn't say, could kind of say Bernard Hopkins, but his greatness was kind of 90s to early 2000s, but mainly 90s. So if I'm just thinking about specifically post 2000, I mean, it's hard to think of many fighters above him. I think I can say easily Floyd, then maybe Andre Ward. You might have to put Pacquiao number 3. You might have to put Pacquiao number 3 in terms of just raw greatness, Hall of Fame career and stuff. Since 2000, you might have to put Pacquiao number 3. Just trying to figure out anybody else.
Vlog, I'm gonna come to you, and then I actually got a question for y'all. Go ahead, Vlog.
This just to clash with the little homie because it wouldn't be right if I didn't do it. Now you was talking losses when we was talking Porter a couple 2-3. So now we talking Pacquiao. I ain't hear nothing about no L. So I was just saying. I'm just pointing that out. You
Can I answer that?
Hold on.
It's not even an answer.
You answer that. Hold on.
It's not even an answer. That's what you did.
No, I'm saying why. I'll tell you why I didn't bring up the L's. I'll tell you why I didn't bring up the L's.
Hold on. Before you answer that, Vlog pulled a page out of my book. That was some shit I would say. That's some shit I would say. I think I pulled that on him yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
So Vlog's learning. Go ahead, Shane.
Why I didn't put in any L's? Because it wasn't. I was just trying to figure what fighters I'll put above him, and I couldn't think of any. So if you could think of a fighter that you would put above him, then I'll fairly put him above him. But I was just thinking about in terms of what he's done. I can't think of many fighters above him in the last 20 years. But Blunt, if you can think of some, and I'll put them above him.
I gave you Floyd. I just gave you Floyd and Andre Ward. I gave you 2. How many more you want me to give you?
That's why I put him 3. That's why I put him first. Because I couldn't think of anyone else. That's why I put him first.
I think so I think we all top 3. Now I got a real question. Is Manny in any of your top 15 all time period?
No.
Period.
No.
He's not.
No.
Vlog, you want to answer that? No. Okay.
No.
He might not even be in my top 20. He might not even be in my top 20.
So I'm gonna ask the actual people that's listening, even the people that's gonna watch the playback. Matter of fact, I might even put this on Twitter and Instagram too. Like, is Manny Pacquiao top 15 all time? Me personally, he's not in my top 15. People gonna think we crazy, but I think we all agree. There's 15 other fighters that I feel were either better than Manny or just better fighter than Manny. But people point to Manny's accomplishments. And listen, Manny,
I can name 15 off the dome right now that I think is better than that's.
Okay, you know what? I knew Shane. That was the bait. I threw the bait out there because I knew Shane was going to take it. Shane, give me off the dome. Hold on. Give me your name. Vlog, I'm gonna come to you. You tell me yes or no. We agree on that? Okay, yeah. Shane, go.
Should I just give you 15 right now, yeah?
No, just one at a time, and I'm gonna let Vlog say yeah or no.
Ali.
Yes, easy, yes.
Roy Jones Jr.
Let me add to that. You know why I say Ali? Because even Ali had that man's island in full support of the movement, because they got a big Islamic group over there. So you know what I mean? So even at that time, Ali had the Filipinos siding with him. So you know what I mean? That's just a capper on that.
Hey Shane, so we won't take too long. You can run through the 15. Vlog, if there's anybody that you don't agree with, when Shane get done, let us know. Go ahead, Shane.
Ali, Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, as we just said. So that's 6. Let's think. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through the weight classes.
Okay,
Julio
take your
Cesar
time.
Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez.
7.
Holmes. Larry Holmes.
8. You throwing Frazier in there?
I'm trying to come up with people I would definitely say above.
So you at 8 right now. Hold on. Vlog trying to jump in. Hold on. Vlog, go ahead.
I wouldn't say his career was better than Arturo Gotti's overall historic value of a career.
Nah, I can't give you that.
You can't give me that?
I'm just thinking of people conclusively.
I can't
give you that.
I don't know, bro.
Gotti. I can't. You saw Arturo Gotti?
I'll say Lennox.
Gotti was.
I'll say Lennox Lewis.
Go ahead, Shane.
Lennox Lewis. That's what we at 9.
That's 9.
I'll also say the fact that he dominated the division as well. Holyfield. I thought he dominated cruiserweight division, undisputed cruiserweight, undisputed heavyweight. So
10.
Holyfield. Trying to figure out Marvin Hagler. Can't believe I forgot 11. Marvin Hagler. I forget 11. Marvin Hagler.
We throwing the Hitman in there.
I mean,
hold
on, Vlog.
Roberto Duran.
I'll edge him over Hitman.
Yeah, Roberto Duran though. I would say Duran because Duran was a killer. Duran was a definite beast. I would say Duran.
11.
That's 12 in fact.
12.
It's harder than I thought. There's a lot of dudes on the cusp who I could potentially say, but it's not that's conclusive.
Hold on. Let me get the vlog real quick. Go ahead.
What about a guy from over your way, Nigel Benn? Do you think Ben did over his course of his career is better than Pacquiao?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But I think, what's his name? If you're going to bring up a name, you could say Joe Calzaghe.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't say that, but if there's anyone from the UK, you have to say Joe Calzaghe. I wouldn't say that, but I'm just saying if there was anyone. There's a few Mexican fighters I'm just forgetting.
Are we throwing De La Hoya in the mix?
I gotta give
what did you say, Vlog?
Gotta give it to Manny on that one. I think Manny edges in career stats.
Hey, Vlog, you just tried to slide me Arturo Gotti though.
I'm just saying, man. That was the peak of boxing for me. All of that era, you know, that Tuesday night fights, all of that, what was going on, even the transition over to Friday. That was the era, and I'm just saying that boy Gotti name was just ringing bells. He owned HBO. He was running HBO at that time, bro.
You know what, Shane, you running off this list, bro. I'm gonna have to give up my status and say that he's top 15.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I'm gonna have to give up his. He's top 15.
He's probably top 15.
He's top 15 for sure.
Top 15.
So,
I mean, you could say people like Sweet Pea, like Pernell Whitaker, you could put them in there, but that's not conclusive. You see my point?
So how many did you name?
12.
So I have 2. I have one for sure that I'm not 100% sure about.
Who's that?
I don't know if I put Lennox over Manny.
Bro, you have to.
I said that.
You know why I say you have to? Because to me, Lennox Lewis dominated the division. He beat everyone he needed to beat, whereas Pacquiao didn't. So that's why I would say Lennox Lewis over Pacquiao, because Pacquiao didn't beat everybody he was supposed to beat. Lennox beat everyone he was supposed to beat. He was the best in his era. Pacquiao wasn't the best in his era. That's my point.
Hold up.
I don't know, bro. Go ahead, Vlog.
Even Lennox lost to a guy or two he wasn't supposed to.
But he beat him back though. He beat him back.
Well, did Manny have some rematches?
Manny got more bodies than Lennox too, though, bro.
He's also got more losses.
Yeah, but you said, hey, listen, if you stack up Manny versus Lennox, most people are gonna say Manny.
I wouldn't.
I'm taking Manny over Lennox. Maybe that's another poll we gotta put up. That's another poll we gotta put up. We're not throwing Tyson in the mix.
I deliberately didn't throw Tyson in there because I think
I didn't hear Bernard. I didn't hear B-Hop in there.
I didn't put
you know what?
in there either.
Pacquiao ain't got more bodies than Duran.
No, but you gotta be careful though, because Duran fought Hagler, bro. There's no Hagler on Pacquiao's record. There's no Hagler on Pacquiao's record, bro.
Pac might be in my top 10, bro. Pac might be in my top 10, yo. I gotta think about
you're gonna have him over Duran. Duran, remember, you're forgetting Duran was undefeated at lightweight, you know. Duran only lost because he moved up weight classes. Let's keep it real.
But if I put Duran in front of Pac, then I gotta put the Hitman in front of Pac.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
I gotta put Leonard in front of Pac.
No, the reason why you don't is because Duran has a win on his resume that Hearns don't have, and Duran has a win on his resume that Pacquiao doesn't have, and that's Sugar Ray Leonard. Pacquiao doesn't have a Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, I know. But bro, he was undefeated. He only lost because he moved up weight. That's not the case for Pacquiao, bro.
I feel you. I can say the same for. I can throw Aaron Pryor in the mix. I could.
But better than Pacquiao.
Pryor got bodies, bro. I don't know. Manny might be in my top 10, yo. He might be in my top 10 now.
He's in my top 15. He's in my top 15. He ain't in my top 10.
Top 15 for sure. Vlog, get in here, brother.
Man, y'all missing some names that I got in my top 15. Because I kept saying B-Hop. And I'm not hearing this man. I'm agreeing with a lot of the names Shane said, so we ain't gonna go rehash them. I'm just throwing out a couple I ain't hear nothing about. B-Hop for one, you understand what I'm talking about? Then you got to look at Antonio Tarver. He got bodies. You know what I mean? He don't got the strap thing, but we talking about a career. And resume for resume, Tarver got a nice little resume, bro. So a lot of these guys can compare to Manny, but Manny just edges them with this title thing, bro.
This live went longer than I thought, but yeah.
It did. Bruce Gold says more champions from Philly than any other city in the world. Let me keep going. Hold on a second. Boxing Learner said facts. Jay Banks, Philly fighters are tough. Absolutely. Pac said goodbye, peeps. Pac, we didn't know you was in here, brother, but hey, brother. Said AAA going to be president. YSM in the building. Said Leonard and Duran over Manny. Top 15 all time. Yes.
Yeah.
We're talking top 15 all time. He said, are we talking modern era?
No, top 15 all time.
All time. I
can't name 15. I can't name 15 fighters better than Pacquiao. I can't lie.
But hold on. Let me go back to this. I got to be careful with this one because he said modern era. Because if we saying not modern era, then we got to go back. Hold on, Vlog. Hold on. Vlog, go ahead.
Now you talking about some eras. You talking about Kid Chocolate. You know what I mean? Them dudes that fought in a different time, man. My battery going hella low, but I'm gonna get this shit out before it die. But you know what I mean? If you it'd take a little bit of homework to really answer this question.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
I hear you, Vlog. I'll say this: like, if it's we haven't mentioned a name yet where we felt like it was just too old. Like, you know what I mean? Pac said not just title, he has the most impressive achievements. Conrad said YSM.
YSM said he's got 20 names above Manny of all time.
I'm gonna get to him in a second. YSM, where to rank Manny in the past 20 years and also all time.
Why is 20
YSM
names above
said he
Manny?
got
You gonna have
20.
to name me them 20 names, bro.
I can
You're gonna have
easily
to
name 20 fighters above Manny.
I can't.
Hold on. Vlog, go ahead.
I said with a little homework, I could do it too. That's why I said, you said all time. It's hard to remember them names right now, but if we as boxing heads, it's easy to go find them. Prove to ourselves that you know that argument would be factual.
Hey, Vlog, YSM, that was a great point. Modern era. I would say modern era. I would say Manny's my back half top 10, like maybe 10.
What do you mean by modern era, bro?
Modern. So we're talking
Pay-per-view.
We're yeah. Hold on, let me answer that. So we talking basically like if you wanted to bring up like Jake LaMotta, like I wouldn't consider that modern era.
But Jake LaMotta isn't.
I just brought up a name. Just an example.
But I said Ray Robinson. If we're talking about pre-60s, so before the 60s, how much fighters can you name that's better than Pacquiao?
Hey, yo, you know what name we didn't say? Ali.
That was my first name. That was the first name
you
I
said.
said.
Ali?
First name I said was Ali.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Hold on. Conrad Boxing, when you talk not modern era, you were talking about guys we never seen fighting. Yeah, I can agree with that. YSM, Manny has never unified as great as he is. Hold on.
He has unified.
Vlog, go ahead.
He's never been undisputed. He has unified.
Never been undisputed.
I can't add much more than what you're saying. I can't dispute anything anybody's saying in the comment. I do agree with YSM. You can find 20 names better than Manny if you want to use the whole circumference of boxing. Now, as YSM said, you got to bring him up to the modern era. Then I still think you could do a little bit of homework and probably find 15 guys. But just off the top of my head, hard for me.
Let's say the start of the show tomorrow. Let's have our 20 ready.
I'm gonna tell you this now. I don't have 20.
I'm saying 20. That's why I'm giving you until tomorrow.
I won't because I don't think even I'm thinking pre-60s because I thought I can't think of any.
All right. Well, you gave me 12. You gave me 12.
I can't think of any more.
You can't think of any more. Okay, Vlog. We'll take your 12, right? I'm gonna come up with a list. Vlog, you come up with a list. YSM, you come up with a list. Anybody that's in the comment section or anybody catch this live on a playback, come up with a list of guys that you would put in front of Manny all time. Hold on, I gotta get in the comments. Pac said, I think he did hold all the belts though, but not all together.
No, but he was unified champion, not undisputed. He was unified champion at welterweight. He was unified at welterweight, bro. People are forgetting he had 3 belts. He had the WBA, WBC, WBO. 1 second. He had the WBA, WBO, WBC, and Kell Brook had the IBF. You guys can look at that, bro. He was unified champion. He just was undisputed.
Conrad, I think this was for you. Said YSM said just because we have never seen them fight doesn't mean they weren't great. That's true. YSM, name a division Manny was unified in.
I just told you one. I just said one. He was unified at welterweight. Mayweather's never been undisputed, but he was unified, and Manny was unified. So not many fighters have been undisputed in the 4-belt era. I think there's only been 4.
Conrad said agree YSM, but can't really make a fair comparison. YSM said easy work. Okay, that's the now I ain't never given an assignment at the end of a live, but we going to today. Shane said he can't come up with no more than 12. Vlog, I know you're gonna come up with a list. I'll come up with a list. Conrad, come up with a list. Everybody that's in the comment section, come up with a list of guys that you would put ahead of Manny Pacquiao all time. YSM said he was not. Hold on, Vlog. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Go ahead.
I got a quick question before my battery die.
Okay.
Are we talking accomplishments? Are we talking style? Like, or it's just like everything included in this pot and just
Everything in the pot, brother. Whatever's in your pot, whoever you got ahead of Manny, that's who we want to see on your list.
y'all gonna hate my list.
I know we gonna hate your list already because you tried to sneak Arturo Gotti in the mix, man.
I just asked a question. I mean,
No,
I mean,
listen, whatever, because I can't put no restrictions on it. I can't say, hey, like, yeah, you got to include this criteria, because then you're gonna be like, but I want to include this, I want to include that. So all you could do is come up with your list.
YSM's right. YSM's right. He wasn't. It was the fight was unification. He wasn't the street. YSM's right. He wasn't.
Pac said, "Are you guys gonna include the weight class he went up?" Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Pac. A lot of people value that throughout boxing history. To be honest with you, Pac, some people don't. Some people don't. And we gotta, we gotta respect that at the end of the day. Some people hold that at a higher regard than others. Me personally, it depends on who we talking about. I mean, if you want to get technical, I mean, Broner was a 4-weight. If you want to get technical, but nobody gives Broner that credit. YSL said, "Kiss the ring, Shane." You know what I'm saying? So, Pac. I mean, some people the first thing they say about Pac is 8 divisions, 8 divisions, 8 divisions, and my thing is like, were you like? My question is this: I'm like, you had belts, whatever, that's cool, but I'm like, were you the man? Were you the man at your weight? Were you the man at your weight? Like that's my determination of like when I'm thinking divisions and all of that. Like you take a B-Hop, for example, I'm like 160, he was the man. Like no doubt about it. Like he was the man. Like Floyd at 147, he was the man. Like you knew that. You know what I mean? But that's a great topic. Conrad said no nostalgia. He said, I'll think of names, but my list probably pisses people off too. Hey, Conrad, man, I just want to get a list, bro. I just want to get a list. I'm gonna put it up on Twitter. I'm gonna put it up on Instagram. YSM, if you could, I think that'd be a great topic for the panel as well. Is packing your top 10, top 15, top 20 all time. And with him walking away from the sport, what better way to cap it off than to ask how great he actually is compared to everybody else. We said he wasn't top 15, until Shane started running off some names. And I was just saying, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna come up with my list tonight, and I'll have it ready for the show tomorrow. But for the people that's just tuning in, Boxing First Vlog was on here. His battery died. I'm gonna get him a new cell phone for Christmas. He still got a Nokia phone. He still got a Nokia phone. He might got a 2-way pager in that apartment, man. Like I gotta get him a new phone, man. You know what I mean? Get my boy right. VP Shane, his line cut off. He's in parts unknown. I know where he at, but y'all don't know where he at. You know what I'm saying? So his signal went out as well, man. But this live was for Manny Pacquiao and his retirement announcement. As long as Floyd don't come knocking on his front door, I think he's going to stay retired. And, this live had some twists and turns, but this was another good one. We'll be back tomorrow. We did not have a guest today, strictly because of the Manny retirement announcement. So I felt like, if we got somebody on, it would have just been overshadowed by the Manny talk. So I didn't want to do that. Pac said, well, are you guys going to include how good his opponents were for the ranking? Absolutely, Pac. Whatever you want to throw in the pot in terms of your criteria to come up with your list, then that's what it is. I don't have a criteria for this list. Just according to you, how many people do you put ahead of Manny Pacquiao all time. So no criteria from me. I just want an explanation for each person you're putting in front of Manny. Like that's all I really ask. At the end of the day, some people's list is going to be debatable. Some people's list is going to be traditional. Some people's list you probably gonna be laughing at some of the selections. You know what I mean? So I think it's an interesting topic. It's a topic that we can have. Pacquiao, B-Hop. You can have that conversation. Pacquiao Ward, you can have that conversation. It's a lot of guys you can have a conversation about, a legit conversation about at the end of the day. But I do think that's a topic that we can definitely dive into. He said Paulie number 1, Broner number 2. Just a funny question. Didn't Broner beat Paulie? Pack, you funny, bro. Hey man, but we gonna close it out there, man. We had Eve and Gabu on yesterday. And Padme and McGriff. We're gonna drop some highlights from that live again. I didn't want to do it today because of the Pac-Man retirement announcement, so I wanted to just give complete focus to that. But I'll be dropping some highlights on Instagram and Twitter tomorrow of Eve and Gabu and Padme and McGriff. That was episode 2 of the Goodfellas podcast. This was episode 3. Dedicated to the retirement of Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, the great Manny Pacquiao, the legend Manny Pacquiao. And, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at G5FTV. Go to the website, G5FTV.com. We got to put some fresh articles up. We're also on Google News, so you can bring our articles up on Google News as well. You can actually find all of my information on Linktree, G5FTV under Linktree. And, we'll be back tomorrow with episode 4 of the Goodfellas podcast. We'll probably have a guest on tomorrow. I'll announce it on my social media. So definitely follow me on social media. Follow BoxingFirstVlog. His Instagram is boxing1st vlog on Instagram. Boxing First spelled out vlog on Twitter. Shane is I_am Shane, the number 1 on Instagram. He has an exclusive contract on Instagram only. And we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to post. You got guys like YSM that's in the comment section, guys like Undisputed Darkness, guys is just, doing their thing, contemporaries, you know what I'm saying? And it's these types of channels is kind of keeping things alive and going, keeping me motivated as well. Pac said, by the way, including Outside Impact, we can include Outside Impact because a lot of people say Ali is the greatest because of his outside impact. So if that's a part of your criteria, brother, then by all means, you know what I mean? Let me see, Conrad. And also, we should not forget the lower weight classes. Absolutely. We got to throw in the smaller weight classes, the small guys, which is going to make the list a lot more interesting. It's going to make it a lot more interesting, at the end of the day. So we're going to leave it off there. On behalf of VP Shane, Boxing First Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, man, this was episode 3 of the Goodfellas podcast. We are out.